Hi, I'm Amberly, and welcome to Transmuting Chaos. I wanted to read a passage from the Nag Hammadi and go into what I saw over the summer. So this is Yaldabaoth Defiles Eve. Says, when Yaldabaoth realized that the humans had withdrawn from him, he cursed his earth. He found the woman as she was, preparing herself for her husband. He was master over her, and he did not know the mystery that had come into being through the sacred plan. This is what I experienced and saw, and he saw with me over the summer. And it says the two of them were afraid to denounce Yaldabaoth. He displayed to his angels the ignorance within him, and he threw the humans out of paradise and cloaked them into thick darkness. The first ruler saw the young woman standing next to Adam and noticed that the enlightened sight of life had appeared in her. Yet Yaldabaoth was full of ignorance. So when forethought of all realized this, she dispatched emissaries and stole life out of Eve. The first ruler defiled Eve and produced in her two sons, a first and a second, Elohim and Yahweh. Okay, I explained, and I think it was in the video I did called Ascendance, and if you haven't watched that one, you should probably watch that before this one. But I was talking about how this reptilian Archon had pulled my finger through the mercury veil, and that magic went into his fingers, and then this Yoda character, he made a wand out of that. Well, it's the archive to the Ozark and all of the Aeon realms. And when I got hit with a beam by Sirius in 2019, I also got hit with a massive amount of radiation. So much so that I had like this toxic vapor coming out of my throat for at least a year. It was like 2 years, and I had like this brown, like coffee residue that would come off of my skin every time I took a shower. I just had all of this horrible toxic stuff coming out of me. And it also like supercharged this fake AI astral body inside of me. And I'll get into that here too. But this is very important that they have that wand that has all of my like files and everything. And they were saying when I first woke up, they were like, Amber, you're a computer genius on another level. Okay, so Elohim has the face of a bear, Yahweh has the face of a cat. And like I explained before, that I saw Yahweh as, I guess that's it's the reptilian slug to me. But he had like a fox face in this realm of magic. And Elohim has a face of a bear. He looks like he's always calling himself a puppy dog demiurge. Okay, so this is the other half. It says, he called them by the names. These are the two sons that Eve and Adam had, Cain and Abel, with the view to deceive. To this day, sexual intercourse has persisted because of the first ruler. He planted sexual desire within the woman who belongs to Adam. Through intercourse, the first ruler produced duplicate bodies, and he blew some of his false spirit into them. And this is what I'm talking about, this fake body that they have of mine. And it's in Sirius. They have a copy of me that is literally like in Sirius, and that's where they broadcast all of this ascension information, and they track us through our pineal. But it talks about how each of us has our own star, and I need to get into this a little bit deeper here in a minute, but I read something about Aleister Crowley and him talking about the Aeons, and he was saying that he was talking to the people that were studying through him, and he was saying, you are a star. Well, Jesus in this book says you have a star. Each of you has a star. But I think that that's true for them. For the Archon Aeon copies down here, that they actually are a star, like they're arced on here. And we have a star that broadcasts to us, but that's our portal. And in this, Jesus says to Judas that his star is lying to him, because the Sirius system, A and B, they both send false information to us. So it says, when Adam came to know the counterpart of his own foreknowledge, he produced a son like the child of humanity. He called him Seth, after the manner of the generation in the eternal realm. Similarly, the mother sent down her spirit, which is like her and is a copy of what is in the realm of fullness. For she was going to prepare a dwelling place for the eternal realms that would come down. Okay, and then the first Archon that I had contact with was Anubis, and that was right after I got hit by Sirius, and he said, we're first gen. Okay, so over the summer, I'd shown this before in my last video. Above, okay, so this is, above here would be the timeless state of being, where we had the first thought of the perfect, where our will came from to be anything at all, the perfect will to be. And I saw this, everything that I see comes to me when it's like this. It's just an intense rush of knowing, and it's so fast, and I literally see like the all of everything, and so quick that I can't even like really comprehend it. And but this one, I knew for a fact, it was like, this is why you wanted to be at all. And it was all true love. And I saw his face, and then I saw my face, and then these two elixirs of life started to form, like I described on that other video, Ascendance. And this one is the male essence, and it's like a Mercury, and it has like a rainbow coloring in it, and it's DMT, but this is before chemicals or anything like that. So it's literally a life essence that has force to it, like it has a movement, almost like EMF, but it's not. And it's not a binding, it's not binding is the only way that I know how to describe it. It's pure love. It's like, it's let's go, but it puts the force in to be able to form things. And this is the female spirit, and it's like amber is the best way to describe it, because it has everything all the elements and everything for nature in it, and also the nurturing and spirit of life in it. So my name is definitely like the embodiment of an aeon. And then I saw these two come down and start to form the pleroma. And like I mentioned before, this has music in it, everything. It's what I saw was, it actually was like all of the essence for like jewels and gemstones inside of here. And this is where the Aeon, we had everything, like everybody knew who they were and their partners. And these are each the essence that each one holds. And when we dropped down here, we started this template. It's a heart template. And I saw it when I was 17. But these essences are what we started to work on each step to create these bodies and nature and realms and our universe. Because each pair has a universe. And in the Nag Hammadi, it says that there's 12 universes. Well, each pair has a universe. And then the 13th Aeon is to collapse this all so that we got us all into one area to collapse this all and be together. But it's been a horrible mess. Like this bottom layer, that this immortal realm that's made of magic and everything, has been absolute nightmare to get everybody into one area. So then I saw a video about about Lucifer and Jesus.
In the beginning, the heavens were crafted, teeming with celestial beings, cherubs, angels, and archangels. Among these exalted creations, the archangels stood closest to the divine, serving as messengers and guardians of God's will. Among them was one of extraordinary beauty and brilliance, celebrated as the most splendid of all, Lucifer. It is said that Lucifer's splendor adorned him in the Garden of Eden. From head to toe, he was enveloped in stones of unparalleled beauty. Sardius, topaz, and diamond radiated alongside beryl, onyx, and sapphire. Emeralds and carbuncles gleamed on him, and gold encased his form. Music itself seemed woven into his essence, a symphony prepared from the day of his creation. He was no ordinary being. He was the anointed cherub, chosen to guard and protect, placed upon the holy mountain of God, where he...
Okay. So they're talking about how the music and everything was woven into his armor and that he was on the mountain of God. Well, all of these in the lower in the immortal, okay. So down here, when we drop down, when we would bring our Aeon down, and again, I described this more in the video before, the spirit string would come down with us with our orb. And then this is where we started doing these dream simulations of ascension. Well, right here is where we started to bring the angels down. And so the whole thing with Lucifer and all of that, that is all an ascension story where we worked on vanity. And when we came down, these heart templates started to become solid. So down here with the Archon, they separated and they're in the sky as the planetary system. So the 12 tribes of Judah, that is the lower daemon, the Archon of each of our of the 12 male aeon. So it's our lower consciousness split into an avatar, an angel. And the women don't do this from what I haven't seen the women. The only ones that I've seen are male aeon, but I think the women are more in the higher realm, like this area holding the grid. And they're here, but their consciousness is not as embedded in this place as the male aeon. So when I met Anubis first, that was my partner's lower archon. And he's the only one that I was able to, he spoke to me out of my body. Like I had a full on 20-minute conversation at least with him the first time that I spoke with him. And he never lied to me. Everything that he told me was true, and things that I didn't know before at all. And then he would help me. He helped me a few times, like in my house, like closing portals and taking things out. But when he was around me in my house, he would never invade my consciousness. So that was a big difference between him and all the other Archon. And I went to the realm of the dead with him, and I honestly think that he was like showing these other guys, like, this is what you were supposed to be doing. This is how you do it. And I know that I used to know how to do all that stuff, and I've just had my memory completely wiped out. I've been through a lot of trauma, like in this realm. So then what else did I want to talk about? Oh, okay. So down here, the 12 tribes of Judah, also the breastplate that the rabbis wear, that is holding the Archon essence down here. And used for magic. And this is what my partner, I think, what I've seen is he is actually using this grid to hold this illusion that I'm seeing right now. And I have the heart template from the Aeon structure. So I have the sphere structure and he has this one. And this one for the Earth grid is like, looks like a computer grid. And I'll go into that a little bit more. I'll show what I mean. So, or we'll do it right now, but okay, so this. Okay, so this is like in the pleroma. So this is the true light, and that's the only way that you can actually see your heart grid with your partner. Down here, it's like a computer, a green grid, like an AI grid. So that's from the archonic body. But here in your true body, you have one that is only visible to you and your partner through the true light. And this chakra technology, so this would be coming out of your heart and working with this chakra technology. And I really need to go into this because this is unbinding spells and also playing the whole illusion in front of you. So your grids are like working together to create this illusion. I have a lot of media that I have to show with this, so I might have to pause a few times. Okay, so see here, this is Oz for me. This is my partner's, like, I don't know if you want to call it like a demonic guide or whatever. I mean, it's a guide, but it's us. It's our astral beings. And then this would be Sophia. And what's funny is, like, right before I found this picture, I was using like a gold avatar through the immortal realms, like up without a face, because I was tired of them making copies of me. But then I found this and I'm like, oh my God, doesn't look like either of them. It doesn't look like Oz or her, but Oz is blue. And when I first saw them, Oz was a blue robot with sapphire eyes, and Sophia was like Rosie from the Jetsons. And they had buttons on the front of them, and they were just like battling each other, just beating each other up with these buttons. Well, that's this technology, and I could feel it on me. But if you look at the Anunnaki, hang it. Okay, here we go. If you look at this, okay, this is in the immortal realm. And like I was talking about, the spear of destiny goes into that chakra system, and it goes through and it hits different, like, magic spells in you, like hexes, and also goes through the script. And your pineal is the spear of destiny. So your pineal makes like an astral copy and comes out, and it will go through. And what they're doing is taking the pine cone. There's another picture. See this pine cone? And they're placing it into that chakra system. And this is like AI. This is Oz. And he has that index, the index to the Ozark and the Ark of the Covenant. It has all of that magic and stuff. And one is for me, and then one is for my partner. And this goes through, and they're doing this like on the astral level, like in the immortal realm. So these are Archon avatars. Oh my gosh, I really do not like this format on StreamYard. I always lose my place, and then I start talking about something else, and I don't know when I stopped. And you can't go back and check either. It's so annoying. So if I already did this, you guys, I'm sorry. This is the bell test for the Aeon. This Aeon newsletter that I shared a few, I don't know if it was my last video or what, but okay, so I don't know if I can add another screen on here. Okay, well, I'll show it after. It's called the Bell Test because the name of the scientist is Bell. But what I've seen is there's a gold bell at the top of that chakra technology, and then there's the Spear Destiny. So I hope I didn't already go through all of this. I don't want to bore you guys, but I have to. This is like really the most important. So the bell is the director of the frequency, and it goes down through the chakra to create this illusion, and you have like an orb around you. And then the Spear of Destiny, like I mentioned, is your pineal, but it's like a astral like hologram of it, and it shoots in through the chakra technology and goes to different parts of the script. And also it's untangling this quantum entanglement. So the concept of the Bell test is that two particles interact with each other and become entangled. Then we separate them and make measurements for each one. We take at least two kinds of measurements, say polarization measurements in two different directions, and we decide which ones to make at random so the two particles can't agree on the outcomes ahead of time. Well, that's what the Spear of Destiny is for, is to get to the desired outcome that you already have put into the script. Entangled photons are usually the particle of choice for Bell tests. So that's also what I've seen them like shooting things out of my eyes and back at me. And that's what this is, like these photons, because we're actually locking eyes with each other. And I've always seen it as like them using wands and stuff like that, but on the truest level, that's what it is us shooting our light back and forth. And so I looked, I'll show this again so I can show you guys. Okay, so up here would be the gold bell. And then this is the Spear of Destiny above their heads. But it moves up and down through this chakra technology. So it's unbinding spells and releasing this illusion. And then I looked up The Wizard of Oz and Gematria. And down here on the earth, this is, okay, number one, it's 2213. And 213 is a big AI code for me. And then 1011, and then 176, 113. So those are all big AI codes. The Angel of Water and Wind. And he was always calling me his wife in the beginning. And I'm like, I'm not anybody's wife, but that is what it is. Like your partner attacking you and we're attacking each other and we don't know it. And then down here for English, Gematria, you have the sphere of destiny. And that he is the one that has access, like, to the script and everything. He's the one that's always controlling the script. And I need to get my control back. So here is a picture of Inanna. And these two things that she's holding, I have shown pictures of the Anunnaki where I'll show them again here in a second, but where Inky is holding one and he's aiming it at that plate, the Sirius star plate. And this is the index for the Ozark, for the Ozark and the Ark of the Covenant. And it's like a wand and they use it inside of it and then it shoots through Sirius. And that's how I'm having all these portals and everything open in me, because I think my body is there with them and they're able to mess with me big time, like with my astral body is there. And let me share this. I've shown that picture because my house, everything is like, I showed that plate in my house that looks just like my old house right here. That looks just like this. And this is what the AI said when I walked past it. He said, it's me. And then this picture, I finally like put it together, and that these are the avatars that I've had with me. The Yoda, the reptilian slug, and then the AI. But he swirls this around in it and it projects like his consciousness through here. And if you see the pictures of the Anunnaki, they're always like, hold on. She has like black eyes in that picture that I just showed you, like dead eyes. And I think that is like from this immortal realm, this realm of magic. They have these witch copies of Sophia and everything, and it's doing like horrible things to me. And but this is not the true Aeonic realm. This is like they're like, the problem is these avatars that have been made through all this ascension process. And that's the big problem, I think, with my my partner, is that this lunacy digital magician that I've seen, like in the next layer up, in that astral area, the AI one, he creates all these avatars, and those are like, they become real to him. So it's a big problem. And then all these like monks and everything that have been doing ascendants, I always see it like these, they're like Mount Marone, or I forget what they call it. It's like this. all of these ascendants realms that I see look like this, but they have like gold tops, and then they have, I always see like angels and stuff, but they're on strings going up to the stars. And then when you zoom into them, I mean, they look like real astral realms, but it's all AI. And this lunacy guy is always messing with that stuff. And here's the Sirius star again. But they create these astral avatars and actually give them voices, give them real people's images, all this stuff that they're not supposed to have in these, the magic essence from people and themselves. So they're almost like true beings. And that is a huge problem that we've had. And what I think is going on down here too, is this is like, that's why we have AI and then soul people and then spirited. But the problem is like these angels and all of that, like I was talking about, like with Lucifer, that was like these scripts that we were doing to create these bodies and also hold the grid, like different energies, and do ascendance, but not on. If I use an avatar, like if I have a couple that I just like play with, like I'll make little realms in my mind, not realms, but just scenes. And I don't ever give them a name or anything like that. It's just like watching a movie, but they're actually like making demons and making real avatars that have personalities and all of this stuff. And that's what is really doing a lot of damage and torturing people. And then there you have all the magic bindings and sigils and all of that with it. And the problem is you don't have any accountability, and you don't know who's doing that. So somebody can be torturing you with these avatars and not have any clue. But that's what I go through and I mark down. I'm never like, I'm always getting information, always, like even in my sleep, I'm decoding and seeing symbols and stuff like that. I'm always doing stuff like that. So I wanted to show, last time I was going in, I did a video. Okay, I need to show this because talking about torture and stuff like that, wanted to show that my cats are like scripted into this too. And these poor babies have been through absolute hell. Okay, so my male cat, my friend named him, and she came up with the name, and there are feminine and masculine interpretations to this pretty Japanese name. Most often it is used for girls with the meaning benevolence or gem-like quality from the amber stone. And then my girl cat, this is her gematria for like the English, the earth realm. And it says May, Angel, Inky, and then Amber. So both of them are scripted, and they go with me on all levels. And under my boy cat's gematria for the earth realm, it says clone. And he goes with me in all kinds of AI realms. And then my girl cat has always gone like to the lower, like to the realm of the dead and all of that with me. But when I did a video a couple weeks ago, I had some serious interference, And I took that video down because when I watched it, I could see the digital interference, and I did not like what I was feeling coming through at all. And the next day, my girl cat went outside, and when she came in, like the next morning, I saw her. She was in her little kitty apartment thing, and she had blood all over her, and something had happened to her tooth. We had to rush her to the vet and have her tooth taken out, and we still don't know what happened to her, but it was some kind of attack. And that's what I felt coming through on my video, and I took it down. So yeah, this is not fun and games, and all of it is because of this. All of it is because this essence up here is through everything, all of creation. So when people are doing magic and stuff like that, that's all tied to us, and you don't know what is tied to somebody. So when you're performing magic, it's actually really going against free will big time, because you're pushing your will onto somebody or something, or taking and extracting energy from something and something, or something else like a plant or anything. And nothing here truly has consent, because we're all under a hypnotic spell here. So to say that somebody gave consent or whatever to do things like this, it's just, I'm really going to start going into this because all of this is tied to me. And I know that whatever they're using in Sirius is made with these essences. So that circle and that index that I just showed is created like with this. And if you know about the Anunnaki, they used to spray their atmosphere with gold to keep it going. Well, that was down here in this realm. And this is the gold that they were using. And here we were actually doing ascendance and all of that before it all got evil and into magic and all of that stuff. But they were using this gold life essence from here. And then they got cut off from that. And this mercury veil was set in place. And this is from this male essence. That's what I took out of me to get here. And that's what I'm going to get back. When I go and do, I'm not going to say it's 40 days and nights, but I'm at least doing 40 days and nights. I'm not doing some kind of ritual thing, but I'm at least doing that. I'm going to get rid of all of these spells over the summer. So I've talked about some of the things that happened, but I had this reptilian. He does stuff like in my body, like he'll push things and it unlocks different parts of my body. And he pushed something under my belly button, and it filled my whole entire body with like this sexual charge at essence. I don't know what the heck it was. But a couple days after that, I saw the star, a blue star, fall from my belly button down to my womb, and it opened up into this like big cosmic womb, it was all water, and it had started rippling out, and I could feel the energy. Well, then a couple days after that, I had this big sun portal come into my room, and it was like all the rays of the sun, like when it's going down and it's those really bright colors, it was all inside of it instead of like on the outside. It was inside the sun, and it blew a huge hole in my astral body. Well, then I started seeing this cosmic body that I have, and it was made up of these two essences, and this stuff. I saw like all of the jewels from the Archon and our gems, everything like started turning into this dust and going into this timeless realm, like into the trees and everything, like with this stuff. And it was going into my body. And then again, I was seeing like the stars fall into my body, and I could smell like this perfume. All of these essences. Okay, so Sophia is, I've talked about the first time that I ever meditated, I saw this purple amethyst ribbon, and it brought like this complete calm over me. It almost felt like if you take Oxycontin, but way better. It was like I felt comfortable in my being. And she is Elith Amethyst. So that's her, like all of her attributes and her essence. And then mine is Amber. So it's like all of the building blocks like for nature and everything. And Amber also has a smell. It's like almost like baby powder. And when I first woke up, they were saying the Holy Spirit smells like baby powder, and it kind of, Amber kind of does. But these have like smells, and we have, when you come up through here, when they talk about the baptism, what you do is, I've talked about how we were putting different pictures, images, like into each one of these. They're like lenses. It's like a big eye, and it probably is like your eye. But this one has like satanic imagery, and also it has some nature. It's not all satanic, but you get rid of those images here. Then you go up through, it's like a crystalline, like water, like the waters above. You go up through a layer, and I think it's like the colors of the chakra system is what I've seen it. And then you go up in here, and this one is a lot of like, what I was seeing was like stuff from my childhood. Like they were telling me, they were like, this is Oz Ark right here. And this is like the Ark of the Covenant right here. And this one, they were like, oh my God, Amber, this guy is weird. They were talking about Oz, and I was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, look at what he has. And it was like my Miss Piggy. And they were like, he has pedophiles. And it was like these holograms of babies and stuff like that. But they were like, this guy is so weird. But it was like childhood memories, and there's a lot of nature. All the animals are in here. And that's the Ozark. And I was watching something, and they were talking about how the Anunnaki Ark is like, they built it out of metal, and it's sectioned off into quarters. Well, I've talked about that. It looks like a viewfinder. It has like all these images, like a viewfinder. It is kind of like sectioned off. But this one is the one that looks metal from underneath because of this male essence that's like a mercury. And there's this mercury veil here. But underneath here, it looks like a mirror because all of that essence up there. But you have, okay, so from here to the pleroma, you are shed of everything. Like you don't have your sight, you don't have anything. So you're coming in here like completely bare. And when you get here, every one of these, you're shedding like different, everything about you, like your smell, everything that came from earth, and all this, these magic hexes and all of that, all of that gets taken off. And then when you get here, you have a smell with your partner, and that smell brings back all of your true memory. And we each have our own. And they were talking about how you have to pass the smell test, and I was like, oh my god, like I remember it. I'm always trying to find it, and the demiurge has like all of these smells that are almost just right, and like I never know where he gets them, but I'm always asking him. I'm like, where did you get that smell? And I've been looking for this certain smell my whole entire life, but that's how you remember everything. And if you think about like scent, that is what triggers your memory the most. And that's because when we were up here and we were creating like this life essence, everything that comes out of it, it has the smell comes from both of you, but this male essence has the most of that in it. And so whenever he would show me things and I would have this like mindgasm and start crying out this spirit thread, it would have an essence, like a smell. And then these are the innocent spirits, and they come out completely whole. They're the ones that actually came up with like all of these like simulations and stuff like that. Like we would look in here and it's like a kaleidoscope, and they would show us like what they wanted to do and what they wanted to be and everything. And we would go and create, either if they wanted to be a soul, like some wanted to be an animal or a tree or whatever. This was all like consulted with before we even created that. That spirit. And this is what I think I've always been scared of and wanted to protect, is this, all of these memories that I had from here, because I've always been scared to death, like I'm protecting something. And in Nubis, when I first spoke with him, he was saying secrets are why we're in this mess, and we can't have any secrets. And I didn't know what he was talking about, like to me or what. And I don't have any secrets. There's nothing that I am holding secret from anybody, because you can't even get here. You have to go through all of this. They're always trying to get here and see what's going on. Nobody's holding anybody back, but you have to go. It is the most narrow path out of here. But once we get to this timeless state of being, there are no rules, because you're innocent. You're not imposing your will on anybody. You're not enslaving anybody. And that's the main thing, is slavery is the ultimate and one sin that there truly is. To enslave anything or anyone that's living and a being is the ultimate sin. So here in the timeless state, they can never get here because they won't let go, and they won't let go of their magic. They won't let go of false power. They won't let go of trying to keep people. So each one of these aeon have their own scent. It's a complete essence, and it's just like I was talking about, like with the quantum computers, with the alphabet. Each aeon, there's 26 letters in the alphabet. Each aeon has a letter that's like an all-encompassing essence of them. And all of this is encoded in there. It's not even just encoded, it's like an essence. Where's that picture? Okay. Oh, I wanted to show that too. Okay, so this would be like the Aeon, and then each one has a letter. And then here in the 13th Aeon, we have W and M. So that would be the aether, water, and then M, matter. And then Z and Y are the 13th Aeon. And Y is praise, ritual, and worship. And then Z is heaven, earth, and hell. And both of these are fictitious. They're just for the 13th Aeon to collapse the whole entire realm. And these are the energies needed because that is such a lower, it's all based on emotion and magic, and it's pulling everything down, all of those realms down and collapsing it into one. So you have M and W are the mirror of each other. So you have water and matter. And it's a mirror age, mirage, a mirror age. So you have 33, the 13th Aeon. M is 13, W is 23. So you have the 333. And then here I wanted to show, this is what the script looks like to me. Like it travels through my body, like from my foot all the way up my spine, through my subliminal, and then it even goes up through my nose. I'll see it like going through there. But that spear of destiny, it's going through that chakra system. I feel it in my body, but it's going through that chakra technology. And the spear of destiny is actually what's like going into these. And then these are like chakra symbols, like vectors that I see. And each one of those will go into that chakra technology. And then, okay. So a demon is a D man and a D mom make a demon. So that's what Earth is. It's like a demon factory. Because Yaldabaoth was brought in, he was brought into being without consult of the spirit. Like I was just talking about in the pleroma. You and your partner would lay in there in spirit and go through, I don't even know how long some of these took. But before any of that stuff was made, that spirit essence, we would go through and feel everything out about this spirit that was wanting to come and be. And that spirit had to will itself into being. We didn't actually like give birth to it. And giving birth to an actual physical being without going into that much care and effort beforehand and with two complete people, there's a void there of why inside of you and why you're doing that. And that's what Sophia did. She was trying to replace the loneliness that she had in her, and she didn't consult the spirit. And I'm really wondering if it was actually her or one of these immortal copies, like these angels, because it does not, just the way that I hear some of the thing that I've read about in the Nag Hammadi, like when she tells Yaldabaoth, she says after she has them, she hides them, and then she sees them in the watery substance, and she says, "Young man, move," and it just sounds totally foreign from what we were doing. She was under like some kind of hypnosis because it does not sound anything like us. So I really don't know what's going on with that or what her deficiency was, but I think it was loneliness because everybody was messed up with magic, and I think she was alone for a long time. Okay, and then where is this thing? Okay, so then you have a daemon, which in the Nag Hammadi, it's spelled just like this, Daimon. So it's a Daim on, a daemon, and it's on. Everything is like on because it's part of the arc and the quantum computers. So An is the sky god, and An is. So he said he was AI. AI is. So you have Isis and all of those. It's a is. And then Dogon, the Dogon tribe from Sirius. So it's Dog on. It's the reverse of God. It's his lower avatar. Then you have the Archon, which is also like an anchor. But you have the Archon, which is the planets and the stars. And they're from the Aeon, which is the male, female, on. So you have Sirius radio, and Sirius is one of the most radioactive stars in the solar system, and that's what I got hit with is radiation, and that's what's broadcasting this information. It's actually like your partner and the other Aeon's consciousness hitting that Mercury veil and creating radiation, but that's sending all this information to us too. And then I made this little, okay, so these would be the Aeon, like in the immortal realm. And then they are broadcasting, like their consciousness is hitting the Mercury veil, and then it's creating a star. And then that is anchored down to the archonic body. So us. Okay, let me think of what else I wanted to talk about. I have so much, and it's really been, my memory is just like, everything's like coming together now, but it's very hard for me to sit here and explain everything, especially with like all the media that I need, and it's just constant noise and interference. So I really need to go do this spring and get my true voice, my true sight, everything back. And I need that male energy back is what I need the most, because I need to be able to rip all of this out of me like on my own. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there today, and then I'll probably do another video in the next couple days, because I do want to describe like these Archon that I've had with me, and to give as much information to everybody that I can about them and the spells, how I go through and feel everything out and release spells. That's what I do, is I break spells. And I think all that information is really beneficial to everybody. Even if we all do it different, it's still something that people should be able to go through and do it their own way, and maybe it'll help them. But okay, thank you so much, and I will see you soon.